Do you ever feel like life throws you off balance no matter how hard you try to stay grounded? Today, I'm sharing the secrets to mastering your mindset, daily habits that make you unshakable. They make you confident and in control of your life. So stick around because this could change how you tackle every challenge that you face. We're going live.
No.
We'll do it live.
This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Frame Friday. Man, I've been talking about how abysmal my views have been lately, right? I can tell when a show is not doing well in the ratings when it doesn't even hit 100 views in the first 24 hours. And I'm starting to think y'all don't like shows about law of attraction or mindset too much, right? And I certainly can't use words like manifestation in the title. So I had to change the thumbnail and the title from Wednesday's episode just to see if I could salvage that show, because it's a shame. It's a damn shame because I put a lot of good information into that one. And a lot of people, they judge a book by its cover and they don't tune in. So by God, we're going to figure it out though. We're going to figure it out come hell or high water. I'm actually thinking that it would probably be a better idea to collapse Woo Woo Wednesdays in with Frame Fridays and then make Monday and Wednesday's episodes about relationship stuff, because I think that's what most people tune in for, that kind of stuff. Like Monday's episodes always do much better than Woo Woo Wednesday, especially when I go like really off on the woo woo. Like that, we did that episode on crystals, and really, and the funny thing is the whole episode was about how crystals like don't matter. It doesn't matter if you have crystals or not, right? So that was the message. But people saw crystals and were like, I'm out on the chick crack. So they didn't even tune into it. So I'm thinking Frame Fridays would be good, because really what we're doing with law of attraction type stuff anyway is working on our mental frame, right? It's just a good framework for doing that. So I'm thinking about doing that, collapsing Woo Woo Wednesday topics in with Frame Fridays. Because I mean, this whole episode, like if you go through the chapter that we're going to go through today, like everything that Wraith talks about, all the exercises he talks about are the same things that every law of attraction coach out there is going to have you do. So it's all about working on your paradigm, your mental frame at the end of the day. So that's what I'm thinking about doing, just collapsing those two in on a one day a week. So speaking of the book and frame, we are up to chapter 9 on the essential skills of a masculine presence, power frame identity, by my good friend Wraith D'Antor. He's a fellow member of the Dragon Ship panel on Saturdays. And he wrote the second book in the essential skills of a masculine presence series. If you didn't know, I wrote the first book. Mine's on psychology paradigm. And then our other Drakkar from the Dragon Ship, gosh darn it, I got a pile of books here. AJ wrote this one, which is on psychology emotion, which I'm going to be going through AJ's books over the next, after we finish Wraith's book. Wraith's book's going to finish up next week. And then I do want to go through AJ's book, give him a little shine, get his name out there a little bit, because he doesn't have as big of a channel, so it's hard for him to market that book. So I'm going to throw him a bone. He's also a good dude. Before we get into Wraith's chapter, though, do be sure to, where is this at? Do be sure to like, subscribe, and hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday without fail. Whether that's going to be mating Mondays and Woo Wednesdays or Frame Fridays going forward, probably not going to happen anymore. I'm thinking that switching to that new format is really when I start seeing my views drop. So I'm going to get back into more relationship types topics on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then we'll still do the mindset stuff on Fridays. And then we can incorporate in law of attraction topics with that. Sprinkle in a little woo-woo. Y'all are finicky, man. Y'all are finicky about this stuff. Guys, if you guys are watching live right now, sound off in the chat. I want to hear from you. I like hearing from you guys. And if you guys are finding value in anything that I talk about, do consider sending a super chat. It helps support the show. I know you guys have the money. Y'all have sending $500 super chats to these 304s out here. I'm not asking for that, but if you do send a $10 super chat or a $20 super chat, I do have some sexy women videos that I could show you in exchange. Okay, this is exchange, right? I know you guys are throwing the money because of the tatas and the booties. Oh man, I don't know if you guys saw it on social media, but I put out a video. One of the brothers at Beer Club, he likes to send me these like, thirst trap videos on Instagram all the time, and so I find they're fascinating. They work great as a hook. They're the perfect hook. So I made one this morning saying, "Hey, quit simping. Tune in. If you want to get a girl like that, you got to work on your mental frame." So if any of you guys are here because of that video, let me know in the comments. Okay. All right. So the first concept here in Wraith's book on chapter 9 is morning mindset ritual. Having a morning mindset ritual. And the reason why it works is because what it's doing when you do this first thing in the morning is it really sets the tone for your whole day, right? It creates you set out an intention that creates clarity and focus. And it's just a good day to get yourself in the right mindset to go out and absolutely kill it for the day. And I mentioned on Woo Woo Wednesday, because we were talking about scripting, that's one of the things that my coach is having me do. I have a business coach right now, and he challenged us, man, going on 3 or 4 weeks ago now, to sit down in the morning first thing and journal out, like script out what your life is like. So that's sort of my morning practice, right? So one of the things that Wraith recommends is reflect on your long-term goals and visualize success before you start your day. And I like to do that sort of thing in the present tense as if it's already happened, right? And then a bonus tip on that is you want to pair your ritual with energizing activity like stretching or journaling, right? That's what I do. I do the journaling thing. Because it's really going to amplify the effect, right? As you're like, what I love about the journaling thing, and I haven't done it. This is the first year I've actually done the journaling thing. I've always done the affirmation thing, but never the journaling thing. And what I love about it is as I'm thinking of things to write in the present tense, I'm using my imagination. I've got, my physical body gestures while as I'm writing it out. I'm reading back what I'm writing. It's like it's just all going in, It reminds me of when I was in the Navy. So before I joined the Navy, I was a terrible student. I was a terrible student. I was, constant like C average, C and D average high school and junior high student. Just absolutely horrendous. But when I got in the Navy, I was forced to learn how to be a good student, because if you don't pass your tests at the end of the week in boot camp, they send you back in training, right? They send you back a week, and you don't want to be there any longer than you have to. So I learned to pay attention in class and take notes. And then when I got to A school, we were learning classified stuff, right? Classified secret stuff. And the reason, and so if we wanted to go back and study, we had to get back in our working white to go back to the schoolhouse in the evening during study hours if we wanted to study. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to pay attention to class. I'm going to write notes. And what I found was just paying attention, just writing the notes was all I needed, right? Because it's just the activity of writing the notes out. I didn't even have to go back and read the notes. But it forces you to pay attention, right? So same thing in the morning with your journaling. You're just really sort of getting involved with it, So it's a good morning ritual to start having. It's really good for your mental frame. The next one here is one of my favorite things is affirmations. So what it does is it creates a daily reminder for you. Daily reminder of your goals and your intentions. So it reinforces your what Wraith is having you do with this is he really wants you to reinforce your identity. Reinforce your identity with affirmations and have those affirmations tied to your core values. You know? And it creates a positive feedback loop because it trains your mind to expect success by speaking it into existence. Okay. One fascinating thing, right, about self-proclaimed lucky people is that they believe that they're lucky, right? It's not that they're actually more lucky than any other people. And I'm talking about the kind of people that when they step in a pile of dog crap, when they pick their foot up, there's a diamond ring stuck in it. You know, like that's luck, right? Well, people that are self-proclaimed lucky people reinforce their mind to expect lucky experiences. And so they just happen to experience this stuff all the time, right? They're training their brain to do it. So you want to train your mind to expect success. Most of us don't do that though, don't we? We're always afraid of failure. We're always like risk averse. You know, it's like you do the absolute opposite. You're almost expecting failure, right? No. We want to train our minds to expect success. Like everything's going to happen. Like it's going to happen for me. It's going to happen. And then pro tip from Wraith, write affirmations in the present tense, right? As if they're already true to align your subconscious. Okay. Wraith said that. Wraith said that. That's why I'm saying, like, I think it's going to be smarter podcast marketing wise to collapse Woo Woo Wednesday in with Frame Friday, because that's really what we're doing with the Woo Woo Law of Attraction stuff is we're working on our mental frame. And so all the techniques that Wraith is laying out in his book on frame, right? It's the same stuff you're going to practice with the woo woo. It's just that some of you guys don't like the woo woo stuff, right? You guys don't like the idea of the woo woo. All right, fine. We'll talk about it in terms of frame, right? But it's the same shit. So I like to use I am statements, right? I am a decisive and confident leader who takes charge of my life with clarity and purpose. I am capable and resilient, overcoming any challenge with strength and determination. I am aligned with my core values and consistently act in a way that reflects my highest self, right? Those are good. I am like in the present tense statements that you can make on a daily basis that reinforce your identity with your core values, right? And that I am statement is a command to your subconscious, and it's wrapped in your identity. I am is your identity. You understand? Okay. Cool. Oh, we got a whole bunch of well, we got one guy in here commenting a lot. Fit Pill Red says Ryan Stone's books, 100%. Ryan Stone's books. You know what? Ryan Stone's book on frame is phenomenal. And Wraith's book on frame is an excellent compendium to that. I highly recommend it. Let me drop a link to Wraith's book here in the chat. Because one thing, so Ryan's book on frame, it's really good. He talks about the tetrahedron of frame. Wraith really kind of goes down the path of stoicism and mental practices and stuff like that. Not so much, Ryan doesn't really go into stoicism as much, you know. But great books. That son of a bitch, Ryan Stone. Oh God, Brother Ed sent a $5 super chat. He says, "Beer clubbers unite." And Brother Ed is a beer club brother, so he automatically gets bumped up to the $10 super chat video.
Thank you for the super chats. Boobies bouncing, can't stop that. From the east to the west, you are the best. Keep those chats coming in, let's do it all again.
All right. Nurse Chick's in the house. She says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Hope you all have an amazing Friday."
I'm so naughty.
Yes.
I'm going to come.
Yes, I am. All right. Guys, do me a favor and follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. Get on my email list.comeonmanpod.com. Get my free ebook, She's Made You Weak. It's all about the betatization process. It really explains how attraction erodes over time in a long-term relationship. And most of the time, guys don't even know it's happening. Women don't even know that they're doing this to you. It's all a subconscious process that women put men through. And then they wonder why they're no longer attracted to their husbands or their boyfriends, right? Well, they're doing it to themselves, but men are allowing it to happen. You understand? So you can't blame the women for it. You can't necessarily just blame the men either, right? Like both people are screwing this up. And so if you want to learn how to defend against the dark arts, get the ebook, okay? list.comeonmanpod.com. I have a book. So we're talking about race book today, right? Power Frame Identity. I mentioned earlier, I have a book in the series. It's called Psychology Paradigm. And it's all about reprogramming your subconscious mind to have more of a dominant masculine presence. Let me play a commercial for that, and then we'll get back to the topic.
Have you ever felt like something's holding you back in your relationships? Like you're always on the back foot, struggling to connect with women? You're not alone. Many men are taught to be weak, to defer, to play small around women by their upbringing, by society, by the very world that shaped them. But what if you could break free from the invisible chains that have held you back? What if you could rewrite the script, reprogram the paradigm that's been running your life? This is your chance to step into the man you were always meant to be. In The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology Paradigm by Paul Bauer, the first book in R.P. Thor's groundbreaking series, you'll learn how to understand and transform the paradigms that have shaped your life. You'll discover how to develop a dominant masculine presence, one that commands respect, inspires trust, and brings fulfillment to your relationships. Don't wait for life to change on its own. Take control. Order your copy of The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology Paradigm now on Amazon. Available in hardcover, paperback, or on Kindle. This is more than a book. It's your roadmap to a life of purpose, strength, and success. Make the decision today. Reprogram your life and step into the man you were meant to be.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The next concept here is reframing negative thoughts. Reframing is an NLP technique, right? It's basically you look at something differently. You look at it from a different point of view, right? If you have a negative idea about something, try looking at it from a different point of view and see if you can reframe it into more of a positive. Yeah. I was talking about this a little bit on Wednesday's episode, talking about, I had a coaching call with one of my clients on Tuesday. This is a guy who's been in my date coaching program for a while now. And one of the things that he said was that he finds himself going down these rabbit holes of the internet, watching home math videos, and then he gets really discouraged, right? Because people like home math put out statistics talking about why, women are only going for the top 5 or 10% of men, and most guys out here are being left behind, and women don't really like you anyway. And basically all the reasons why you should give up, right? And so I told him, I go, man, why don't you reframe that, right? Instead of thinking about reasons why you should give up, think about how do you get into the top 5 or 10%, like winners find a way to win, right? That's reframing. So you want to identify these triggers, right? Recognize self-doubt or negative patterns in your thinking. And you've got to look at it like, is this going to help me? Is this going to help me? Right? Or is this keeping me where I'm at? Is this a positive or a negative? Is this a fear-based thing, or is this something that's going to motivate me? Right? So you got to flip the script, right? Replace stuff like I can't handle this, or I'm never going to get a girlfriend, or I'm not in the top 5 or 10%, right? You got to think of stuff differently. So I can't handle this. Replace that with I'm resourceful and capable. A great thing, if you're thinking like, I can't handle this. If you read the book, Dating Essentials for Men by Dr. Robert Glover. One of the things that he talks about, because the whole first like half of the book is your mindset, right? Fixing your mindset. And one of the things that he says is everything that's happened to you in life up to this point, you've handled it. You've been able to handle it. So if you ever get to a place where you're sort of feeling anxious and anxiety and you're thinking, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to handle this, or I can't handle this, take a deep breath in and go, I've handled everything up until this point in my life. I can handle this. Yeah, that's a reframe. Yeah. Cool. And then consistent reframing builds resilience over time. It becomes a habit. One thing that like all this stuff comes down to awareness. It comes down to awareness of your thoughts. And one thing that I've been trying my damnedest since probably around end of 2019, beginning of 2020 is really being aware of any kind of negative thoughts or feelings or emotions that I'm having. And once I become aware of it, and we all have them, we're human, we're going to have them. Our minds have a negativity bias, but when you have them and you catch yourself in the moment, I try to shake it out of my head, right? And that shaking moment, that's what we call a pattern interrupt in NLP. I didn't know it at the time when I was doing it, but I started practicing that several years ago. And when something negative comes into my head, I shake it off and I go, get out of my head, and then I go, or I'll go, nope, out loud, especially if I'm out walking by myself. Nope, we're not going down that road. And I actively try to think of its opposite, a positive opposite, right? Reframing that. Rates recommends daily intentions. That's the next concept here. He recommends having daily intentions. And the reason for this is purposeful living with a purpose. Why are you even here? Why are you getting up in the morning, right? So he recommends setting 1 or 2 key intentions that align with your frame. Now, one of the things that I do, he says, translate your intentions into specific measurable steps because these create actionable goals. One of the things that I do every morning, especially since I started coaching, or not me coaching, but having a coach, since I started this coaching program that I'm in, they really want us to act with intention with our business. Like, what are you going to do on a daily basis for your business? And one of the things that I've been doing for a long time is I try to at least post 3 social media posts a day at the minimum. And, I do the podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So those are things that I do. And, but one of the things that I started doing after that is I'm going to do 10 DM outreaches on TikTok, 10 DM outreaches on Instagram. I'm going to reach out to my followers. I have a pretty good following on those platforms. Might as well reach out to them and check in with them and see why they're following me, right? And so I'll reach out to them and ask them, hey, man, thanks for the follow. And I just like to reach out to everybody. Just curious, are you here for the content or are you here for relationship advice, right? I would say out of the 10 people I reach out to on a daily basis, 5 people ignore me, which is fine. I'll get 4 people that say, hey, I'm following for the content. They'll actually reply back, which is cool. And then I'll get 1 person that's like, oh man, my relationship's in the shitter. Right. So then I start chatting with them about what's the problem, and see if I can help them or not. So just doing that, having daily goals, something that I shoot for, allows me to live with intention with that, right? Act with intention. And then one of the things that he also recommends is regularly check in with your intentions throughout the day, right? Can you cross this off your list? One thing that Bob Proctor, one of my mentors, who I talk about a lot in Psychology Paradigm, one of the things that he recommends doing is setting out before you go to bed at night, come up with 6 goals that you want to achieve tomorrow, the next day, right? Write out 6 things. Get a card, write out 6 things that you want to knock out tomorrow. Okay. When you get up in the morning, review your list. What do I have to do? And then try to cross off as many as you can. If you get to the end of the day and you haven't crossed off all 6, he says, don't beat yourself up. That's just going to start your list for the next day, right? And then let's say you knocked out 5 out of the 6 items, you weren't able to get one thing done for whatever reason. Okay, that's top of the list for the next day. And then you come up with 5 more, right? Now you're living with intention. You have things that you're doing. You're actually living with a purpose. You're not just wandering through life, waiting for stuff to happen to you, right? Online Money says it's a never ending list. It is though, right? That's life. There's always something to be doing. There's always something you can be doing, right? And it doesn't have to be bad. It could be something for you. I'm going to read a book today. I'm going to listen to a podcast today. I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to go to the gym today, right? Like that's something for you. It's not, you don't have to look at it like it's some kind of chore, that you're not getting any benefit from. Like these are things that are going to benefit you, right? Reframing. Oh man. All right, guys. If you guys are having problems in your relationship right now, things have started to erode. You guys are living like you guys are glorified roommates. You're sitting right next to your wife on a nightly basis, and you feel like you're all alone. You're just going through the motions. You just sort of exist together. Marriage isn't supposed to be like that. I don't care how your parents were. I don't care how your grandparents were. Your marriage is not supposed to be that way. Okay. That's not normal. If you guys aren't having sex anymore, or when you do, it's like, it's lackluster. It's sort of like you're doing it because it's Tuesday. Oh, hey, it's Tuesday sexy night, babe. That's no way to live. It's a unfulfilling relationship. Okay. Let's fix that shit. Let's fix that stuff. Okay. If that's you and you really want to spice things up again, you want to get back to the relationship you had at the beginning of your marriage when things were all hot and heavy and you guys couldn't keep your hands off each other, book a free call with me today. Okay. Go to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. All right. Another great resource for you. Maybe you're not in a marriage. Maybe you're a divorced guy and you just need to connect with other like-minded guys. Maybe you need help with your dating stuff. You're trying out the dating apps and dating apps just aren't working for you, but you don't have any other options because you're so busy. You don't have time to go cold approaching and the bar scene's just not what it was 20 years ago. I get it, man. You know who else gets it? Over 50 guys that are in the beer club that have been where you are and that are leveling up in life. And we're changing lives in here. It's only $10 a month. Get in the beer club. All right. Start swapping notes. Men need this for our mental health. Let me play a commercial for that, and then we'll get back to the topic.
Here's a harsh truth that everybody gets upset about online when I say it. They get upset because of their ego investment into the fairy tale idea of love and partnership. They get upset because of their ego investment into the idea that their woman is their best friend, their confidant, and they think that love will conquer all, and that their woman will be there through thick and thin. The truth is that as a man, your woman is hardwired biologically and psychologically to want you to be her rock. It doesn't work the other way around. Women do not care about your struggles as a man. They may think they care. They may even want to care, but her evolutionary DNA will not let her care. If you bring her your problems, she will lose attraction for you over time, and she will leave. Now, whenever I talk about this, people lose their minds and start talking about men unaliving themselves. The faster that men learn that women don't care about our struggles, the faster we'll save the lives of men. Men off themselves because of their own ego investments in the Disney fairy tale lie. And when that fairy tale goes up in flames, they get zeroed out and they end things. Men do need a proper outlet for dealing with their problems, but going to their woman isn't the answer. Men need a tribe. They need a brotherhood. That's why I created my beer club. It's a monthly virtual hangout for men only. It's a place where men can be men. It's a place where men can talk about guy stuff without having to worry about offending women. It's a place where they can go without having to worry about being called toxically masculine. It's a place where they can go to solve their problems. Because men solve problems, women cause problems, you dig? Visit beer.comeonmanpod.com. That's beer.comeonmanpod.com to sign up.
Yes, men solve problems, women cause problems, you dig? Guys, I see 34, 35, 36 people watching right now. Go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit those notifications. If you guys are watching on Facebook, come on over to YouTube, okay? We need you over on YouTube. It's a much better platform. The next concept here is evening reflection, right? End of day check-in. Have an end of day check-in for yourself, right? Just take like 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long time, but just have an end of day check-in. Evaluate how well you lived in alignment with your frame. All right. Did you do a good job? If you know that you have to check in, this is one thing that I'm having my my dead bedroom relationship clients do, right? They typically have some kind of exercise to do at the end of every week, or not the end of for each week. They have some kind of exercise to do. It's usually a journaling exercise of some kind, and they're supposed to be, being mindful of various things. A lot of it's living with intention, or working on their frame, or not falling for shit tests, right? Or, how many times did your wife shit test you, right? Well, the reason why I have them reflect on this at the end of the day is because it keeps it in the forefront of their mind on a daily basis. So now they're looking for it, right? I'm having them engage their reticular activating system to be more mindful of when this stuff happens. So they're less reactive, and they are more responsive. They know what to do, and they can act on it, right? So at the end of the day, they start thinking about that stuff. So now they can sit there and write about their successes, right? You want to celebrate your wins. They can write out like how awesome they handled certain situations. No matter how small, celebrating those wins helps you build momentum. One thing that my coach Nikki wants me to do is have a brag book. I still have to get one of those. I got to have a brag book. But it's like, that's all about celebrating those small wins. Now, my good friend RP Thor, who wrote the book A Dominant Masculine Presence, which all of our psychology, our essential skills books are based off of, he doesn't like celebrating small wins. He thinks that small wins are just what you're supposed to do, right? That's just what you're supposed to win. You're supposed to win all the time. All right, that's one way of doing it. But by celebrating those small wins, I kind of agree with Wraith on this. Celebrating those small wins creates a positive feedback loop. When you have a positive experience, you want more of that positive experience. Yeah. So there's no reason why you shouldn't keep doing that. I think that's a good thing, right? Celebrate those wins. And then if things didn't go quite right, don't look at it like, don't beat yourself up. Don't, there's no reason to be so hard on yourself. Okay. Look at it like it's a growth area, right? Identify growth areas. So pinpoint where you fell short, and what are you going to do about it? Yeah. Right. There's no such thing as winning and losing. There's only winning and learning. Yeah. So identify growth areas. What could I have done better? Okay. I didn't quite handle this situation so well. One of my new clients was doing great. And then on Saturday, he and his wife had a little bit of a kerfuffle. And so he reached out to me, explained what happened. He said, man, I don't think this went well, and told me all what happened. And I just said, hey man, you're just now learning this stuff. Like, you can't beat yourself up over it. I go, in the future, this is what would have worked better. Like, you could have handled that situation better for sure, but this is how you handle it better going forward. And so, he gave her some space. They both took some time apart, for the rest of that day. And the next day they came together and had a really good discussion. He said that during the discussion on Sunday, based on everything I told him, he just sat there and told himself, calm, calm, calm. Right. Because it was like the next day, he also got my morning email where if you guys sign up for the email list and you get the ebook, I send morning tips, right? Every Monday through Friday, you get a tip of the day of like how to have more of a dominant masculine presence in your relationship. And one of the things that the email he got was never dear, always Luca, right? Which is, dear is defend, explain, excuse, rationalize. When we get in arguments with our wives or girlfriends, we tend to dear. We want to be right. So we explain ourselves. We defend our position. We excuse our actions. We try to rationalize why we do what we do. When you do all that stuff, you're basically making her the arbiter of good or bad, right? And you're actually putting her at a one-up position from you, which is using hypergamy against you. There's no reason to explain yourself. A king doesn't have to explain himself to the subjects. You understand? Now, that might sound toxic, but it's a good mental model to have in your relationship if you're going to be the leader in the relationship. And she has to see you as above her in some way. So you don't want to be explaining yourself. So a better way of handling that is Paul Benjamin's Luca model, which is listen, understand, clarify, action. So you just listen to her without getting into your emotions. You're not defending yourself. You're not excusing your actions. You're not explaining stuff away. You're just listening to her and her side of the story. And then she feels heard and understood. She doesn't want to solve the problem, right? So he did that. So he just sat there and he told himself, calm, just because, when a woman's getting all pissy and stuff like that, our natural instinct is to react, right? We start reacting out of emotion, and you can't do that if you're going to be her rock, and if she has to see you as better than her. So that means that you have to be in control of your emotions because you're the adult in the relationship, right? So that was a thing that he identified as falling short on and how to improve going forward. And he applied that in the next interaction with his wife. And he's like, things are going so fucking good right now. The guy, like, we just had our week 4 discussion. It's a 12-week program. The guy's relationship dynamics already turning around. When she's talking to her sisters or her mom, she's referring to him as the boss now. She's like, yeah, well, he's the boss, right? Like, how many of you guys could say that your wife thinks that about you, right? She probably is wearing the pants right now. Okay. Anyway. All right. Gratitude practice. This is one of my favorite things. This is why I'm saying, guys, I'm going to collapse Woo Wednesday in with Frame Friday, because everything that we do, that we talk about on the woo-woo stuff that you guys are disgusted by because it sounds like chick crack, is the same shit we're doing to fix our mental frame. It's the same shit. Right? So gratitude practice is powerful. Okay. It makes you shift your focus, right? So gratitude helps you see abundance all around you instead of lack. One of the things that Dr. Glover talks about in Dating Essentials for Men is that if you can't be grateful for the things you have, it makes no sense for the universe to bless you with 1,000-fold of what you already have. Right? Because if you think you have nothing, the universe is just going to give you more of nothing. Yeah, that's more woo-woo thinking. But really, man, if you just think about how great you have it already. Yeah, you've probably struggled up to this point. You've probably struggled, but man, you probably have a roof over your head. You certainly have internet access so you can listen to the show or watch this show. Be grateful for that. Some people don't. Some people are still living out in rice paddies and living in huts. Right? Be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, right? It helps you shift your focus into more of a positive mindset. A core exercise for this is to write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. So that could be a part of your morning mindset practice, right? Just think about 3 things you're grateful for. We have in our beer club group, we have a separate subgroup just for gratitude practice where guys are encouraged to write out things that they're grateful for on a daily basis. A lot of guys post videos, like selfie videos of their gratitude practice, but it's just really good for your overall, mental well-being and your frame. And then you can align that with your frame, right? By focusing on gratitude on areas where you're growing and improving. Right? And let's say that you're working on something and you're achieving the goals that you're setting out to achieve. Be grateful for that. That also creates a positive feedback loop. Right? The next concept here is physical reinforcement. So Ray says body language. Work on your body language. Just working on your body language can help improve your frame. Okay. So stand tall, maintain eye contact, move with a purpose to embody confidence. There's lots of videos on the internet on alpha body language. RP Thor has a really good course on alpha body language. If you ever go to becomedurable.com, you can check out Thor's courses and stuff like that. But standing tall, maintaining eye contact, move with a purpose, that all that kind of stuff embodies confidence, right? Chest chest out, shoulders back, right? Standing tall, taking up space. Don't have your hands in your pockets. Don't be like this, right? This signals insecurity, right? But if you own your space and you take up all the room and stuff like that, that shows that you're comfortable. You're comfortable in your own skin. That's a dominant, dominant alpha body language, right? Power poses. This is something that I learned from my friend Benny, who's a breakup coach. But he and I both came out of the 3% man group. Like we're both 3% brothers. And one of the things that he used to tell his date coaching clients back before he was a breakup coach, and honestly, I think he still teaches this to his breakup clients, because honestly, what he's doing with the breakup stuff is he's having you become a more attractive person and actually going out and spinning plates. Right? That's a part of re-attracting your ex, by the way, is living your best life. I don't know if you knew that. But right before you go out on a date, one of the things that Benny recommends is that you stand in front of a mirror with these power poses, like big, huge, arms open wide, like you're an essay and you want to fight, right? Like, yeah, like, come on, F yeah, I'm king shit, right? Power poses, big, wide open, like you're king of the world, you own everything, So simple changes like that in posture can really boost your confidence instantly, which is one of the reasons why Benny has people do that. And I actually talk about that a little bit in Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. But I got that from Benny. Before you go on a date, to really boost that confidence, get you in the right vibration of going out and absolutely killing it, you want to be confident as fuck, right? So you get into this power pose, listen to badass music that gets you all juiced up. Now you're in the right frame, the mental frame, to go out and be a confident person. And that confidence, that women can feel that, right? They get the vibe from you. They can feel that shit. Okay. So power poses can help you with that. That's a physical reinforcement. And then one of the things that Rafe says too is that your mind follows your body, right? If you're kind of not feeling good, you start slouching, you start doing this kind of stuff, and you start having a little bit of a scowl on your face. Well, your mind's going to start following that, right? You're going to start feeling bad. You're going to start feeling depressed. You're going to, whatever. So a good way, if you catch yourself in that moment, you're feeling sort of like, blah, feeling kind of meh, feeling kind of down, is to fix your body language, right? Straighten yourself up, put your chin up. Okay. Act the part like you're a confident guy that feels good, and your mind's going to follow along, right? Your frame's going to get strengthened that way. The next concept here is visualization. So mental rehearsal, that's basically what Wraith describes this as, mental rehearsal. So imagine yourself succeeding in scenarios that align with your frame. So let's say that you have to have a hard conversation with your girl about something, right? And you're anxious about it because you're a little worried about how she's going to react. Have a mental rehearsal about that situation. How is that going to turn out? Like, imagine it turning out the way you want it to turn out, where she's, takes what you say and listens to you and has an open mind and whatever, right? Imagine, so rehearse this in your head going into it, okay? And this really will help build your confidence, okay? So he says visualizing success reduces anxiety and enhances performance, okay? One of the things they've done this with athletes. They did this in the Olympic Games. And what's that kid's name? Phelps, Michael Phelps. He does this before every race, right? He sits there, he listens to music, and he imagines the whole race playing out in his head. Every stroke he's taking, every breath he takes, right? Every lap he's going to make. This kid was like a multi-time world champion. He visualizes the entire race, every race, in his head before doing it. So by the time he gets into the actual event, he's already done it. He's already done it in his head probably 50 times that morning before even doing the event, right? So that works in all areas of your life, right? If you could visualize it and mentally practice it in your head before doing it, you're going to do better. They've done this with basketball teams. They've had basketball teams. They'll have two separate teams, and one team just spends 20 minutes after practice visualizing making 3-point shots, right? 3-point shots. And in their head, they're, they've got the right motion down. They're picturing it in their head. They're picturing getting baskets every time. And then they have another team that goes out and spends, 10, 15 minutes at the end of practice practicing 3-point shots. And, they get pretty good at it, but the people that visualize it do way better than the people that just practice it, right? If you do it up here first, you're going to do better in real life, right? So visualization's huge. So he says, building confidence, visualizing success reduces anxiety and enhances performance. And then you really want to anchor your emotions. This is an NLP thing, right? But you want to feel the emotions of success during visualization to reinforce the belief. Now, you got to put a powerful emotion behind it. Another thing you could do too is once you're feeling those emotions of confidence and success, a good way to anchor, right, is do it like pinching your fingers together like this, right? That sensation of pinching your fingers together. Once you get yourself really feeling the emotion, being really into it, pinch your fingers like this, okay? That creates an anchor. And then when you're in the situation itself and you need to feel that, you need to feel that confidence or whatever it is that you want to feel like you were feeling during the visualization. If you pinch your fingers together, you're going to start feeling that way. That's called an anchor. It's the same idea as Pavlov's dog, right? Pavlov's dog trained his dog to salivate because he would feed it steak and ring a bell at the same time. So then he trained the dog to just, if you ring the bell, it would start salivating because it was expecting the steak. The brain was expecting a steak. That's an anchor. You understand? You can do that to yourself intentionally. You can train yourself to get into a state, into a certain emotion, and anchor that with some kind of sensation, right? Some kind of physical sensation. You could pinch your ear. There's lots of different ways to do it, right? If you ever read the book, The Wolf of Wall Street, the straight line selling method by Jordan Belfort, right? I think that's his name. One of the things that he talked about was getting into state before going into a sales meeting. And one of the things that he would do is he would do a smelling anchor, right? Where he would get into the state of being super confident and whatever. And then he had this almost like a icy hot sort of, sinus inhaler thing. And he would sniff that. And I'm probably sure that before he did that, he used to do cocaine, but he doesn't say that in the book. He says, get this thing that, sort of clears your sinuses. And when you sniff that in, that anchors the emotion in with the sense of smell. And so before going into a sales meeting, he pulls that thing out of his pocket and sniffs it. And that puts him in the right state. I mean, that's one way of doing it. Mentorship and accountability. Okay. So Wraith recommends finding support. So surround yourself with mentors or peers who share your values. That's where Beer Club comes in. Now, Wraith, I don't think promotes Beer Club in the book, but he might mention the Dragons. I can't remember. But Beer Club, the Dragons membership, the Men's Empowerment Network with MLD, these are all great groups of like-minded men where you could swap notes and be held accountable. Okay. I think mine's probably the most affordable one on the internet though. Yeah, it's only $10 a month, but it's a great place to find support with like-minded men. Regular check-ins, right? Use accountability buddies to keep you focused and motivated. We have guys in Beer Club that are partnered up on all sorts of stuff. At first, one of the guys in there, brother David, who I haven't seen, he hasn't been active in Beer Club too much lately. I do see him lurking on social media all the goddamn time though. So I know he's alive. But one of the things he asked us at the beginning of the year when he joined the group was, he was like, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. Can you guys hold me accountable? So every day I work out. I work out Monday through Friday. So I would work out and I would tag him in it. Hey, David, where you at? Where you at? Right. Well, brother Nathan and brother Omega got together and they formed a subgroup. So now we have a separate fitness accountability subgroup of Beer Club, and a bunch of guys from Beer Club have joined that group. And now those guys are posting their workouts every day, right? So we're all in there holding each other accountable on our fitness, right? That's a great opportunity for that. And then you can learn together, right? By sharing insights and growth with your circle, it deepens your practice. That's where like field reports come in. That's where, if something doesn't go right and you write out what happened, and say, hey guys, I need some feedback here, right? The other guys in the group have all experienced this stuff at one point or another. Like they have tons of insights, right? Yesterday it got a little heated. We were talking about crypto. We have a bunch of guys talking about crypto in there. So, I mean, like it literally could be anything, right? But it's just a good place for men to get together and swap notes about whatever. And then we have habit stacking. That's the last concept here. So you want to leverage existing habits, and then you want to pair your new frame building habits with routines you already have. It makes things simpler that way. Let's say you're going to the gym already. Let's say you're already going to the gym, but you're not doing the morning mental practice, but you go to the gym every morning. Well, why not bring your notebook with you, go to the gym, and then the last 10 minutes of gym time, sit down while you're cooling off and do your journaling practice, right? Do your new mental frame practice in the morning. Like stack that with something you're already doing, right? Small wins, right? Incremental changes compound over time into massive transformation. This is why Thor talks about eating an elephant one bite at a time. But you got to start at the trunk, because if you start at the tail, it's going to taste like shit and you're going to give up, right? But that's how you tackle big goals, is little bits at a time. All right. Do what you can do. Don't beat yourself up for stuff. Like if you feel like you're not doing enough, just do what you can do. You'll get to everything eventually. Just small wins. Break things down. If things start becoming overwhelming, break them into smaller, manageable chunks, right? A practical example, add affirmations during your morning coffee or reflection after brushing your teeth, right? When you're brushing your teeth, most people aren't thinking, they're just sort of doing, right? Well, that's a perfect time to maybe stick some affirmations on your mirror and just sit there and read your affirmations in the morning, right? You can stack that new habit on with an existing habit of brushing your teeth in the morning, right? Good example. All right. Hey, what's going on, TJWK Ireland? Thanks for dropping a comment there. Man, y'all are quiet today. There's a lot of people watching, but not a lot of you guys talking. I guess you guys are mesmerized or you're busily taking notes, I guess. That's fine. All right, guys, that's all I got. Definitely get Rate's book. We're almost done with it. Next week, we're going to hit chapter 10, and then we're going to wrap up the power frame and identity. And then we're going to move on to AJ's book for Frame Fridays after that. But tune into Rule Zero tomorrow. I think Jack is hosting. I think he's going to be talking about Hawk to a Girl and how she launched a meme coin that absolutely failed, and a lot of people lost their asses with it. Tune into Dragon Ship right after. Mike Steele is hosting. He wants to talk about the urge to leave society and go live in the woods somewhere. Like, is that you? Have you ever felt like that? You're like, fuck it. I'm going to go live in a cabin in the woods away from everybody. Right. I hate everybody. I hate people in general. I'm just going to live by myself and live off the land. I've had that thought. So that should be a fun discussion tomorrow. If you've ever had that thought, definitely tune into that. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching today. I really appreciate you. Do be sure to smash that like button. Okay. Smashing like is free, especially if you're getting value out of these episodes. Thanks for the people that sound off the live chat. I appreciate you. Thanks to Brother Ed for the super chat. That helps support the show. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. get on the email list and get the ebook. She's Made You Weak. Okay. I've been jokingly calling it the defense against the dark arts, but really this will help you understand why attraction erodes over time in a relationship and how to prevent it. Okay. Only you can prevent a dead bedroom. All right. Get my books, books.comeonmanpod.com. I've got everything I wish I knew when I was 18. It's a handbook for life. And then Psychology Paradigm will help you with a lot of the stuff that we talked about today. It's an excellent compendium to Power Frame Identity by Wraith. Get all the essential skills of a masculine presence books as they come out. There's probably a dozen that are probably going to come out next year. Get in Beer Club. We talked about that. Beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a great place for guys to get to connect, level up, hold each other accountable, learn stuff. It's perfect for that. And then, guys, if you are in a dead bedroom situation or your relationship's like heading for a divorce and you want to turn things around, we say it's cheaper to keep her, right? They say it's cheaper to keep her, but there's no reason to keep her if you're just going to be miserable, okay? But if you loved her, if you still love her, if things were hot and heavy at the beginning and you know it can get back there's no reason to give up on this, okay? There's no reason to throw everything away. So book a free call with me. 30 minutes. I'll give you massive clarity. If I can help you, I'll show you what that looks like. If I can't, I'll at least point you in the right direction. Okay. But you'll at least get massive clarity on your situation. I see brother John in the comments. He says, your buttery soft voice has us hypnotized. Thanks, man. Hey, guys, send prayers to John, man. He got some bad news yesterday, and I think he could use our thoughts and prayers. I'm going to give him the bouncing titties video because he's a Beer Club brother.
Thank you for the super chats. Boobies bouncing, can't stop that. From the east to the west, you are the best. Keep those chats coming in, let's do it all again.
All right, guys. If I can join Rule Zero tomorrow, I might show up a little bit late, but I'm going to try to join. Other than that, I'll definitely see you guys on the Dragon Ship, and you guys have a good weekend.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.